You know what better be a 2-time world champion? Being a 3-time world champion.
Did you hear Abraham?
Yeah, because of you.
Ryan said he didn't feel right all week coming to the fight. Did you ever respond to
Well,
that?
yeah, because he was scared. Yeah, he knew he was going to fight some dude that got his entire number down.
Stop making excuses.
Rolly Romero has expressed that he doesn't feel sorry for Ryan Garcia. In fact, he thinks Ryan should be glad he wasn't chasing a KO. This change in tone comes as a big shift from his initial post-fight reaction, where he briefly offered empathy and acknowledgement toward Garcia's effort. But as footage surfaced of Ryan Garcia breaking down and crying in a van after the fight, Rolly's attitude hardened. What began as a surprisingly respectful moment turned into a cold and unapologetic stance, reinforcing Rolly's belief that boxing has no room for sympathy once the gloves are off.
He's strong, he has good left hook, and, the one time he opened up, I cracked him and he didn't open up at all the rest of the fight. I knew he wasn't gonna throw no more damn punches, so I just had to keep going, He was not gonna take a single risk with me, that.
Romero, who entered the bout as the underdog and under intense scrutiny following his own tough year, managed to silence the doubters in spectacular fashion. He didn't just win, he showed his will. The sharpness of his jab, the efficiency of his counterpunching, and the pace with which he controlled the fight surprised many who expected Garcia's speed and power to be too much. But what really stood out wasn't just the technical dominance, it was the mental edge. Rolly says he had something to prove, and he proved it with the kind of clarity that fighters dream of.
What do you think went wrong?
Oh man, just extremely off night tonight. Just didn't have it in me. A lot of things were missing. You need that aggression, you need that killer instinct. Just wasn't in it.
You think you underestimated Rolly tonight?
No, I think I was just fighting.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. He's done with interviews.
Ryan Garcia, on the other hand, looked like a man still trying to reclaim his rhythm. A year out of the ring due to a suspension, legal trouble, and mounting personal pressure had clearly taken its toll. In the ring, he showed flashes of the sharp, dangerous puncher fans had come to expect. But he lacked the consistency, composure, and confidence that could have turned the result.
You dropped him in round 2. What was your initial reaction when you hit him with that left hook and floored him?
The thing is, I thought he would, I thought it was just a flash because he didn't really appear hurt, but I still win.
After the final bell, he was gracious in defeat, perhaps too gracious for someone who just lost one of the most important fights of his career. In his post-fight interview, he gave Romero credit and spoke of exhaustion and mental strain, but later, the emotions spilled over. The viral clip of Garcia crying in a van laid bare a different side of the fighter, one that Rolly now sees as confirmation that he pulled his punches, not literally, but strategically.
Ryan, how you feeling, champ? Good. I'll be in the front. You're good. Yeah.
Thank you.
This is fine. This is good.
Rolly's response to that clip was blunt and dismissive. According to Romero himself, he feels that had he been pushing for a knockout, Ryan wouldn't have just been crying. He might not have even made it out of the arena conscious. To Rolly, Garcia should be grateful that he wasn't dealing with the same version of Romero who entered the ring angry or looking for blood, because that version might have sent him to the hospital. For Romero, showing up in the ring and putting on a performance is about business. And in business, especially in this sport, mercy is rarely profitable.
To his team very well, and before he went to the event, my father told him, just keep your right hand up the whole night, and that's it, you'll win the fight, and he did that. He looked great.
Ryan Garcia's performance tonight, a fantastic victory for Rolando Romero. Almost made it look kind of easy.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was surprised how he. I think he just never recovered from that check hook that Rolly did on him. So, I think he was too hesitant, and maybe the hunger is not there like it should be for Ryan.
This response may seem harsh, but it's quintessential Rolly. The same man who once had open doubts about Ryan's mental health claims, the same fighter who's been ridiculed and written off more times than he can count, has finally found himself in a position of leverage. And he's not going to waste it feeling sorry for someone he just beat. To him, sympathy is a luxury for those who can afford to lose. For Romero, who clawed his way back from a TKO loss, criticism, and his own emotional demons, winning wasn't just necessary, it was redemptive.
He deserved it. You know, Ryan just wasn't active enough. Rolly was landing more punches. There wasn't really a whole lot to go off of, but Rolly was more favorable.
Are you like surprised by the dub? No, you thought Rolly could pull it off?
I didn't know who was gonna win it from me. I thought it was gonna end in a knockout by either way. But I didn't know who. But I'm surprised that it went to the distance.
Were you shocked when he got dropped?
No, because Rolly hits hard.
Thank you, Virgil. Appreciate you, champ.
Before the fight, there were signs that Rolly was turning a new page. He spoke openly about therapy and mental health, acknowledging past struggles and showing a degree of self-awareness that was rare in a sport built on bravery. He even offered words of support for Garcia, recalling a moment in 2021 when he sensed that Ryan was battling something deeper than what fans and media could see. In those pre-fight interviews, Rolly came off as someone who knew what it felt like to be misunderstood, to be dismissed, and to wrestle with yourself when the lights go out. It was a mature, thoughtful side that few expected to see.
Last one for me. You're knockdown and gotten up before. Is this the hardest you could hit at 147?
No. I feel like the most I ever been dazed was with Luke Campbell. I was actually dizzy with Luke Campbell getting up, but with Rolly's I wasn't dizzy. I was just like, oh, well, there it goes again. On the canvas again. But it doesn't really I don't really get too out of it. I'm just right there. It's always a flash knockdown for some reason. I get right back up.
But that side disappeared after the win. When the clip of Ryan crying emerged, Rolly's patience ran out. From his point of view, showing emotion after a loss is one thing, but playing victim afterwards, especially when you stepped into the ring voluntarily, doesn't earn you grace. He made it clear, I could have ended you if I wanted. Be glad I didn't. Romero's approach to post-fight commentary may come off as cruel, but to many pros it's just the harsh reality in boxing. Fighters are judged not just by their wins and losses, but by how they carry themselves in the aftermath. Rolly's take was that crying in private while letting the world see it doesn't draw sympathy. It invites questions.
Who knocked him?
You impressed with Rolly tonight?
Nah, nobody. They all suck. They all scared of each other. They jab into the body. They shook.
What should happen for Garcia now? Does he rematch Rolly? Does it Haney? You're not interested? Give up boxing.
Questions about heart, toughness, and readiness. He's not blind to the toll the sport takes on people. He's lived it. But he also believes that if you step into the ring, you should be prepared for everything that comes after. The praise, the pain, the pressure, and the public scrutiny.
Lennox, what's your reaction?
Ryan Garcia's path forward is uncertain. With his rematch against Devin Haney now in limbo, the loss to Romero complicates everything. His image as a golden boy of boxing has been chipped away with every controversy, and this latest defeat, paired with the emotional breakdown, only adds to the narrative that Garcia is spiraling. Whether that's fair or not is up for debate, but for Rolly, the only thing that matters is that he won, and that he did so without needing to destroy the man. That, to him, was mercy. And that's more than Ryan Garcia deserved.
Yeah. I feel like I like the way Rolly took his time. He picked his shots and stuff like that. You know, that was my take of the whole night. You know, that was the best part of the night. Just watching Rolly take his time, pick his shots. You know, he was strong for sure. You know, but we knew that.
Was it the layoff? You think the year layoff? He wasn't active.
I don't know.
Or he just doesn't want it.
I don't know what it is. I can't say. You know, I wasn't in his camp or nothing like that. But you know, it could be a few things. You know, some people say it was a PEDs. So, you know, you gotta get back.
Definitely.
Still, there may be a bit of hope. Turki Al-Sheikh posted on X saying that Ryan will be back stronger than ever. Coming from someone who holds sway over the biggest fights in the sport, that statement carries weight, and it could mean the Haney fight isn't off the table just yet. Garcia's night in New York was supposed to be a grand reset. Instead, it turned into a subdued, unraveling under lights that failed to shimmer. The specially constructed ring in the middle of Times Square may have promised spectacle, but it delivered a flat, almost surreal setting for what should have been a pivotal moment in Garcia's return to boxing.
Do you feel now, in this moment, that a rematch with Rolly is more important than a rematch with Devin, or vice versa?
Oh man, that's a good question.
whatever the fans want. If they want me to, run the back with Rollies, let's do it. If they want me to go straight for Devin, let's do it. Styles make fights. I'm willing to fight any of them again.
The judges saw what many did. Garcia lacked command, lacked rhythm, and at times lacked conviction. 2 of the 3 scorecards reading 115, 112 suggested a competitive bout, but the third, 118, 109, hammered the point home. Romero had not only won, but had done so with ease and stretches. Garcia, still shaking off the rust of his 1-year suspension for Ostarine, had moments, flashes even, but not enough to sway public or professional opinion in his favor. It was Garcia's second defeat in 26 contests, but unlike his stoppage loss to Gervonta Davis, this one carried a different weight. It came not with explosive highlight reels or a viral body shot, but with flat pacing, low output, and a sense of someone enduring rather than competing.
How you doing? Right, you got 90 seconds for me? You always give me a little
What's up?
Ryan, obviously disappointed in the night for you tonight. What do you think went wrong?
Oh man, just extremely off night tonight. It just didn't have it in me. A lot of things were missing. You need that aggression, you need that killer instinct, and just wasn't in.
You think you underestimated Rolly tonight a little bit?
No, I think I just...
It was the kind of loss that doesn't scream controversy or potential for redemption, but rather invites skepticism and reevaluation. Across the ocean of fight fans and analysts, the echoes of disappointment were immediate and loud. Among them was Conor Benn, who had publicly shown interest in squaring off against Garcia should his own rematch with Chris Eubank Jr. fall through. Ben flew out to New York to scout Garcia in person, perhaps to finalize his intent. Instead, what he saw turned him cold. His post-fight remarks to IFL TV were blunt, even dismissive. "I didn't think it was great. Very disappointing performance. It was terrible." And when pressed on whether he still wanted that fight, Ben gave a sharp no. "I don't think so."
So, unfortunately, I was surprised with what Rolly did, but he was strong as hell at 47.
Yeah.
I think that might be his weight.
I think what boxing says, Styles makes
fights. And that knockdown really showed, and it kind of, I don't think Ryan ever pushed him back after that knockdown.
Yeah.
I thought he should have been the aggressor a little bit.
We know that certain fights deserve an immediate rematch. You think this is the type of fight that deserves an immediate rematch?
Actually, they had, Rolly don't want a rematch. Rolly want Haney and Garcia to fight.
That U-turn from Ben reflects a wider take. Garcia's stock has taken a serious hit. What was once a must-see attraction now faces questions of legitimacy, motivation, and most of all, relevance. His year-long exile from the sport wasn't just a timeline, it created a mental and physical void that Garcia himself acknowledged post-fight. "I just think that the whole year took a lot off my body physically, mentally," he said. And while he emphasized his relief at completing 12 rounds, his tone lacked the urgency of a man eager to correct the course.
Still adjusted little by little after a whole year layoff in a new weight division. So everyone, you guys know, and then he goes on and knocks out Harry Davis. Everyone thinks that he's going to give Barroso the problem. He knocks him out in the first round because I called it. I even told O'Hara, I'm like, don't jump in. This dude can crack. And guess what? They stopped the fight a slight bit premature when he was about to get knocked out cold. Give me my credit. I fought smart.
Adding another layer to the puzzle is the impact Romero's victory may have on the wider 140-147 pounds landscape. The bout between Devin Haney and Jose Ramirez, which unfolded as the co-main event, was equally uninspired. Haney picked up a unanimous decision win, but failed to dazzle. In fact, both Garcia Romero and Haney Ramirez were historically low in combined punch volume, 3rd and 5th respectively in CompuBox's list of fewest punches thrown in a 12-round fight. That stat doesn't just signal poor entertainment, it signals a lack of assertiveness in what were supposed to be statement fights.
Hey Brian, they canceling the face-off. They try to kick us out. They're canceling the face-off. Gotta pick it up, Brian.
Despite his win, Romero didn't act as a disruptor. Instead, he extended his support for a Garcia-Haney rematch, suggesting he has no interest in blocking what remains a lucrative matchup. "I think Devin and Ryan should get their rematch and make a big one," Romero said afterward. It was a statement that, depending on interpretation, could either be seen as noble or as evidence that Romero doesn't see Garcia as a threat to his own trajectory. But Garcia, though gracious in defeat, gave off the aura of a man unsure of what comes next. There was no call-out, no reassertion of dominance, just an acceptance that he got through it.
Eddie, just your reaction, man. I can't believe it. I mean, I said, this kind of environment, like sometimes it can just, I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean,
flabbergasted.
Ryan and Devin just dropped the bag like the biggest bag drop we've ever seen. I mean, you know, tonight was going to be those two in the ring facing off for the big rematch.
It's done?
Done.
For a fighter who once commanded headlines for every training clip, every verbal jab, and every flinch at a weigh-in, the silence surrounding Garcia post-fight felt almost haunting. He was no longer the firebrand prospect, the crossover celebrity boxer. He was a man trying to find his place in a sport that might be moving past him. The environment didn't help. Times Square might make for a cinematic backdrop, but for a fight of this magnitude, it lacked intimacy, electricity, and authenticity. Garcia himself admitted as much. It felt like a sparring match. You could hear everybody. It just didn't feel authentic to me. VIPs had seats near the ring, but most fans were stationed behind barriers, outside the perimeter, watching the fight unfold from a distance.
Gunshot. Literally, he was running. He was scared to me. He was scared of getting hit. I mean, he knows he has no chin, so.
The cheers that did exist felt displaced, like background noise in a film set. It was a far cry from the roaring arenas Garcia once thrived in, from his war with Luke Campbell to the electric Barclays Center showdown with Haney. Veteran Gabriel Rosado put it bluntly, the crowd plays a major difference in a boxing match. Fighters feed off the energy of the fans. Without that, Garcia looked stranded, not just physically in the ring, but emotionally too. Yet in the middle of all the criticisms, Garcia didn't make excuses. That much he made clear. He acknowledged the absence of a spark without turning it into blame. His post-fight remarks were short and slightly hollow, but they carried a quiet professionalism. That, if anything, might be the last remnant of the fighter who once boasted about being the future of boxing.
Not to mention what I saw, Romero knocked Ryan on his ass. So he hit him with a nice left hook and blah. But see, when you're not on PEDs, you're not all, you know what I mean? Yeah. You can't absorb those hits. You can't just boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? Right. You could tell he was very like, he looked a little frail actually, Ryan Garcia. Really? I was like, yeah, he didn't look as all big, you know, he didn't look all like, you know. But I mean, I give him props for even going there and fighting, you know, they're homies end of the day. You're everyone.
Ironically, just as Garcia was nursing the sting of another loss, another name popped up, Jake Paul. The social media mogul turned fighter has never been far from Garcia's orbit. Their relationship, which started with mutual respect and even training sessions, has devolved over the years into something closer to rivalry. Public spats, snide comments, and cryptic jabs became the norm. Most recently, Garcia's comments in an interview reignited the tension. When asked if Jake Paul was a legitimate boxer, Garcia minced no words. He's a wild card. I mean, I don't know if he's a boxer. He's never fought in a ranked match at his weight class. I don't even know what his weight class is. Can't really say that he's legitimate. It didn't take long for Paul to return fire. On Instagram, he posted a shot of Garcia's knockdown from the Romero fight with the caption, "Irony always wins." It was a sharp, smug jab from a man who himself has been often dismissed by the boxing elite. But now, with Garcia down and uncertain, Paul's barb had bite. Jake Paul, scheduled to fight Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., is plotting his next wave of headlines. Garcia, meanwhile, is left to pick up pieces. Whether a fight between the two becomes a reality remains to be seen. It's more entertainment than sport, but the very fact that it's being talked about underscores Garcia's dilemma. He's no longer in the mix with the best at 140 or 147, at least not convincingly. His most compelling options now live at the fringes of boxing. Rematches fueled by controversy or crossover bouts fueled by clicks.
Derek, can you talk to us just about the fight, what you think? What you think about the fight, the outcome, Ryan's performance?
To add to the heat, a resurfaced video of Floyd Mayweather has gone viral in the wake of Ryan Garcia's loss to Rolly Romero. In the clip, which predates Garcia's fight with Gervonta "Tank" Davis, Mayweather boldly offers $200K in cash if Garcia could defeat Romero. "If Ryan Garcia can beat Rolly, I will give him $200K cash," Mayweather said. "Now once he loses to Rolly, I don't want him to ever say Tank's name again." Mayweather, who promoted both Davis and Romero at different points, framed the challenge as a proving ground for Garcia. With Romero now having beaten Garcia, the video has taken on new meaning. Many fans are now calling it proof that Mayweather saw this outcome long before anyone else did. But what was your take on the fight? Share it below and subscribe for more updates.